Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Roll Stable Podcast. Have a great episode lined up. I think we have a guest that you're really going to enjoy hearing from. But first, let's take a quick look around what's happening at UCM. We spoke last week with Jenny's track and field student athlete Alicia Strauss about the MIAA championship. Jenny's came out with the team title. Alicia took second place in the shot put, so congratulations to her. It's their 9th team trophy in team history, first since 2014-15. Central Missouri Mules track, they also performed well at the conference meet, finishing 4th and 3 points behind 3rd place. Track and field now getting set for the NCAA championships. It's going to be the first NCAA track championship since the outdoor season of 2019, if you can believe it. That's because they were all set to go for indoors last year, 2020. That got canceled. I think it was the day before the meet was supposed to start. As of recording this, Jenny's basketball getting set for their first MIAA tournament game. This is going to be posted following the tournament, so we'll have the results already known once this goes live, actually. And we'll be getting set for the regional tournament. That'll be going next weekend, March 12th through the 15th. You can get tickets now. Jenny's are going to host whether they are in it or not. In addition to track and field, we still have a bunch of other sports going on right now. Baseball, softball just getting underway. Even spring sports, volleyball and soccer are playing right now. Golf is going on. Wrestling just finished up. Bowling is still playing at this time. So there's a whole lot of sports happening at UCM right now. Keep up to date with all of it at ucmathletics.com, as well as on our mobile app and all of our social media pages. That's going to take us to today's guest, one of the few student athletes not currently in his season right now. Quarterback of the Mules football team from Hoffman Estates, Illinois, Kyle Bradley. Kyle, man, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world, but I'm just blessed to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to, let me get on this podcast and talk to you. So
yeah, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know how busy you guys can get, whether it's in season or out of season. Things, like you said, different for everybody right now. How is the spring of 2021 going to be different for Mules football?
So as of right now, it's been pretty normal as normal can be these days, with COVID and everything. There's still a lot of precaution with, going to weights and having workouts be kind of split up with different groups to make sure that the numbers are at a correct level for all of the rules and stuff. But when we get out on the field, it's just kind of normal, like a normal spring would go so far. So hopefully it continues that, and we can continue improving and continue getting better for the season in the fall.
And where are you at right now? Are you getting onto the field, or are you still just kind of doing conditioning stuff, weight room stuff?
So we're doing morning runs right now, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday we lift, and we'll usually hit the field after that. But then Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, we are with the coaches, and we'll actually go through like a short intermediate practice. So those have been really good. And
now you guys haven't played a game since, what was it, November, December 2019.
It's been...
What have you been doing to keep in shape for the last year and a half now? Has there been a lot of stuff on your own, team stuff kind of picking up again?
A little bit of both. I try and stay in shape and continue throwing, whether it be here at UCM or back home, throwing with Throw It Deep. But yeah, I just continue to get in the weight room, build my strength, build my speed, continue throwing, because you can't just stop throwing. You have to continue to perfect your craft and everything you do. So throughout this time, I think that's the biggest thing that came to my mind, was just to keep continuing to practice and use this time to really hone in on your craft, and don't think of it as a negative, and kind of build off it as a positive. So
how do you feel the other guys on the team have been doing with that? Have they kind of taken on that same attitude as yours? Have you seen them trying to get themselves better every day?
Yeah, especially the young guys. I think this is a great opportunity for them to get accustomed to the offense and start to put their heads in the playbook and really learn the ins and outs and all the little things, because at the end of the day, the little things are what's going to, take us from being a good team to a great team. So
You said something earlier about throw it deep. What is that?
it's a quarterback camp that I usually go to back at home.
Okay.
It's ran by Jeff Christensen. He's a pretty up and coming quarterbacks coach. He's actually coaching Patrick Mahomes. He coached Jimmy Garoppolo since he was like in high school. Kirk Cousins, a few other quarterbacks, but yeah. So I've been going there since my sophomore year of high school. So I'll go back there and work out with them and just work on my technique, throwing and stuff like that.
Kind of like an advanced camp for high school and kind
yeah,
of older
you could
guys
say
looking to
that.
play beyond high school.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it goes from anywhere from like they have kids there to college quarterbacks. So it's just a time to really focus in on the fundamentals of actually throwing a football and the proper way to do it. So,
what would you say is your best skill set as a quarterback? You were kind of a dual threat when you've gotten your playing time, running, passing. What do you think you're best at? What do you think you need to work on?
I think I would probably consider myself a passing quarterback, and I could be in the pocket or I can be mobile. I'm kind of that dual threat type of quarterback. But what was your other question? I'm sorry.
I can't remember. And we'll cut this here and we'll start over again.
Okay, my bad.
It's the beauty of not being live.
You said.
Oh, I said what are you best at? What do you need to work on?
Oh yeah, what do I need to work on? I would probably just say I need to work on just those intermediate throws and kind of those level 2 balls where you have to kind of maybe possibly get it over a linebacker or, try and fit it in those tight windows and just reading a defense and stuff like that. But, I mean, throughout my experience and everything like that, I feel like, it's more of a mental game at this point than it is physical, just because I feel like I know what I have to do physically. It's just actually doing it now. So I'm excited to, finally get that opportunity to finally put all my hard work into action. So.
And you've been here, I think this is your 5th year now, but
yeah.
This is going to be your first year. We have a new offensive coordinator, Lucas Luters, came for what was hopefully going to be the 2020 season. That never happened, so we still haven't seen him coach in a game yet. What can you tell us about Coach Luters? How does his style fit you? How do you fit into his style?
Yeah, Coach Luters is an awesome coach. He came in with a lot of potential with the guys that we have, and he kind of has the same motto similar to Coach Mack, where we want to move at a fast pace and move very efficiently and make the big plays when we have them, but stay efficient and just get the ball in our playmakers' hands, and just let them make plays. But a big thing is execution and efficiency with him. So, but no, I really enjoy him, and it's a slight change. But I mean, I think I was kind of blessed to not have that many coaching changes while I was here, because usually there's a lot of colleges that they'll wipe clean their coaches, but we've been lucky enough to keep a stable core throughout the coaching staff. So I think he'll fit right in with what the Mules, motto is, and just that explosive offense. And I'm excited to have him lead it this year. So.
Yeah, you mentioned coaching changes. People sometimes look at Division II as kind of a stepping stone to somewhere else. Head coach gets a job here, maybe they want a D1 job or an NFL job, so they don't necessarily stay here very long at this level. Our coaches, like you said, they've been here for quite a while. You haven't undergone many coaching changes. Obviously, Coach Voda been here the whole time. You have 2 offensive coordinators. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been with pretty much the same coaching staff for 5 years. What do you like about UCM? What made you come to UCM 5 years ago, and why are you still here 5 years later?
It's kind of crazy. So throughout my recruiting process, I had just finished my senior year of football in high school, and right after the football season, I actually ruptured my Achilles playing
man.
in a turkey bowl.
Devastating injury.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
So that happened late November, and so this was right around the recruiting process, and I was supposed to play in my basketball season that year too, and so right after it happened, I had to call my head coach from my basketball team
Mhm.
and let him know the news and everything, and so that was kind of a really weird time in my life where there were a lot of unknown questions and questions I was
Yeah.
wondering about, like, why did this injury have to happen to me and stuff like that. And there were some schools that were interested in me, but then when they found out about my injury, they kind of took away their scholarship or, became less interested in
Mhm.
me. And
'Cause those
you,
things those are hard to recover from. They take a
yeah,
lot of time.
for sure. And, UCM and Coach McClung, our offensive line coach, he came to my house and, told me about UCM and wanted me to come out for a visit. And, I mean, the rest is history. I mean, I came here. I loved the jerseys, the facilities, the environment. It just felt like home compared to, the other schools that I was visiting. So it just felt right. And ironically enough, my grandpa has a brother who has a farm like right outside of town, and my grandpa actually went to school here, and he
Really?
actually ran track. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the farm at? And what kind of
Um,
farm is it?
it's a cow farm, but
Okay.
yeah, it's like 15 minutes away from here.
All
But
right.
yeah, my grandpa, he actually pole vaulted here and had the record here for a little bit, but
Oh, I'll
I
have to
didn't know
talk to
any of
Coach
this.
Jammer and see, see
Yeah,
if he knows who this guy is.
right.
What's his
And
name?
Bill Angel.
Bill Angel. Okay.
Yeah, but ironically enough, like I didn't know he went to school here when I
Mhm.
was getting recruited here, and so it's just crazy how like God works and everything just falls into place.
Yeah,
And
that's a great story. I want to talk a little bit more about that Achilles injury, which I didn't know that you
yeah,
had. Did you need surgery on that?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I had surgery. I think like 2 or 3 days after it happened. Um, yeah, it was a complete rupture. It didn't roll up into my calf like most
Hmm.
Achilles injuries do, but yeah, the recovery process was probably about, I would say, like 8 to 10 months.
Yeah, they're long ones. It's hard to do anything when you when you
Yeah,
have an Achilles.
yeah, it was not fun at all. And
When did you finally feel? I mean, this is a while ago now that you were back to 100%. I'm sure those first couple of times you tried
yeah,
running on it, cutting on it, you were a little hesitant.
um, it's crazy. It was a long time ago,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, once I got to school here, I remember it being fine. I was going through, red shirt lifts and workouts perfectly fine on it, but I just did a lot of PT and just strengthened it, doing a lot of, jump roping and calf raises and stuff like that. But I mean, it's better than ever now. I don't even notice it, and
Right.
um, but yeah, the process coming back definitely, um, strengthened me mentally and physically just throughout that whole process. But I came to UCM with an open mind and the willingness to learn because I knew there was quarterbacks there back then, Garrett Fugate,
Hmm.
Eric Siebenshoe, Brooke Bowles. So I knew I had a lot of guys I could, learn from. And so I was just, that freshman redshirt year, I was just a sponge and just tried to, gain as much knowledge as I could from those experienced quarterbacks. So
Yeah, that's a great attitude to have. An injury like that can really get someone down in the dumps, and if they don't take it seriously, don't work hard enough to recover and rehab it, that can really affect their entire
yeah,
future.
for
It
sure.
sounds like you had the right attitude to fight through that to get where you are today. You mentioned some of those quarterbacks UCM had: Fugate, Bowles, Siebenshoe. Anyone in particular that kind of took you under their wing when you were first here?
Definitely Brooke.
Hmm.
And then we had another quarterback. He didn't see the field as much, but Brendan Zachary, he was
Sure.
a good influence on me as well. But yeah, him and Brooke were brothers to me, still are. We used to keep in touch to this day. I was actually talking to Brooke before I came on here, but
Hmm.
yeah, they're great guys. Since I was a redshirt freshman, they took me under their wing and kind of showed me the ropes with, the offense and just what being a college athlete is like. And so, I definitely have to give kudos to them because, they definitely taught me a lot. And I would say Garrett taught me a lot too. I didn't really, talk to him as much, but, I was able to, just watch how he
Yeah.
moved on and off the field and, just take little lessons and stuff like that from him. But, yeah, Brooke and Brendan were great role models for me as a incoming freshman and growing into UCM football and stuff like that.
Brendan, of course, Jalen Zachary's brother.
Yeah.
It's always interesting, especially on football teams, with how big they can be. UCM, typically, ever since I've been here, has had over 100 guys on a team, and obviously not all of them can see the field,
Right.
And so you don't hear about stories like some of those guys, like Brandon Zachary, who he didn't see the field, but he helped mold you into where you are today, and having those kind of behind the scenes moments that not everyone hears about. Those are stories that I think are pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're awesome guys on and off the field. Yeah, shout out to them for sure.
So you said you also played basketball in high school.
Yeah.
You grew up in, what is it, the Hoffman Estates is a suburb of
Yeah.
Chicago?
Yep.
How
So it's
far away is
about
that?
45, 50 minutes from downtown Chicago.
Okay, so I think you're probably first guest I've had that's really been not a country farm boy or something like that.
Yeah.
You grew up kind of in the city. What was it like growing up so close to Chicago?
Being in Missouri for 5 years and then going back to Chicago, it really made me appreciate the city life and the town that I was, living in, because coming here, like, you can go anywhere and you're there in 15 minutes, but like going back home, you got to drive 30 minutes to an hour to get to, the city or the next suburb or something like that. Well, not the next suburb, but, it's just a pretty big difference just because there's a lot more people, and you can't just walk into a room and everybody knows you. It's kind of a little more spread out, but I don't know. I kind of appreciate the small life kind of living out here, but I definitely am a city boy at heart.
No, I understand completely. I grew up on Long Island, 60-minute train ride into Manhattan, so I know all about city life and being in big cities. Something that I like to. I'm a city person myself, but there's something to be said about being small town Warrensburg, middle of the country, things like that. So you played basketball. Were there any other sports that you played in high school?
No, I was just football and basketball. Yeah. We were actually we went to the playoffs my senior year for football. We were 6-3, and then my senior year of basketball, we were really good, and I was so mad that I wasn't able to play. But that year I was basically a player's coach, and so we ended up making it to like the super sectional. So I think that's like the Elite Eight.
Okay.
And so we were really close to making it to the Final Four, and I felt like if I was playing, we would have made it all the way. But no, that senior year of basketball, it really humbled me because I was on the sideline that whole year, and as a senior, I had to teach and coach up some of the younger guys because we had a lot of young talent. We had a guy, Ryan Davis. He's at Vermont now, and he plays college basketball there.
Okay.
And we had a point guard. His name was Jimmy Sotos. He's at Ohio State right now. And
Ohio State, number 4 team in the country.
Yeah, and so we had a lot of talent. And so, I mean, as a senior, I felt like it was only my job to, kind of coach those guys up and be a leader on the team regardless of, my situation. I had to kind of be selfless in that aspect and kind of help my team out because I knew the talent was there, and so I just wanted to, see them be successful.
So almost kind of similar situations with what we've got going on now. You missed your senior year of high school. You're going to get another year here for football. Would 2020 have been your last year here if you had played?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay,
it would have.
So almost the same situation where you missed that senior year. Luckily, you're fortunate you get another chance to do that.
Right.
But having lived through that now, how does that make you, a better athlete, a better person?
It just makes me, appreciate the times where, you're just practicing. You really have to focus in on the details and, not take practice for granted, because the off season is really where champions are made. And so it's those little times and little moments where no one's watching you that you really have to focus in and, perfect your craft and study film and just focus on like your individual skills, especially. And then, those times will really show in the season. So, I mean, I'm just excited and blessed that we have another opportunity to play in 2021. And so I just had to come back. I didn't want, my senior year to end kind of how it did in high school. And so to be able to get another chance and end the season and end football and everything the way I wanted to and on my terms is just something that's indescribable for me. So
and it again shows you have the right attitude about this. Coming back twice now, you've seen on multiple occasions how quickly things can get taken away from you.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're also, the most experienced quarterback in the UCM locker room right now. What kind of leadership role have you taken on? Have you, been able to impart some of those life lessons that you've learned from high school and from your 5 years here at UCM?
Yeah, I mean, I just try and, impact those guys in the QB room as much as I can, and not even just in the QB room, but just the team in general, because I feel like I have a lot of experience and a lot of, knowledge that I can give to them. And I feel like it's, kind of my job as a senior and as the most experienced person in the locker room to, give my thoughts and feedback to those young guys and try and build them up to be the best quarterbacks they can be, because I know this might be my year, but, it's going to be their year right around the corner. So I just want to, make them prepared and physically and mentally locked in as possible to, carry out all their goals and achievements that they want. So
kind of keeping that chain going from guys like
sure.
Fugate to Bowles to yourself now to the next group.
Exactly.
And, I want to talk a little bit more about the team now. Mules are set to lose a couple of offensive weapons to the draft, to graduation, just life changing in general.
Yeah.
Who are some of the guys that are going to be kind of stepping up this year that maybe Mules fans aren't too familiar with just yet?
Yeah, so we got a lot of hungry guys in that locker room. We've always had a overload of talent, but which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, we got some young, hungry guys that are really looking for their opportunity. So some guys like Achilles Smith, Zion. We got some younger guys that really didn't get as much time last year, like Trevor Tweehouse. Then we got some experienced guys like Drew Slager, Cam Saunders. Who else? We got Moshe Rogers, JD, Sal.
Yeah. I know the recruiting class, not this most recent one, the one before that was pretty big on wide receivers. So they're going to finally get their chance to maybe see the field this year. Any of them? You mentioned Moshe.
Yeah, Moshe, Arkell Smith, Zion. He recently transferred and then came back here, so he's going to be a big part in our offense as well.
Obviously, the big question: who's going to take Zach Davidson's shoes?
So we got Corbin Gant. He's going to be good for us. It's kind of hard to replace someone like Zach, who's
no doubt.
Like a Swiss Army knife. He can basically do anything. But we feel pretty confident in Corbin, and we got Malik as well, and we have a transfer as well, Jared. So we have some talent coming back, and some hungry guys that are willing to learn, which is always good. And so as long as they stick to what the coaches are teaching them and continue to learn, I think they're going to really be some big factors in our offense this year. So
awesome to hear. Zach, of course, I don't think you really threw to him much when you got most of your playing time in 18. I think he was mostly punting back then. Is that right?
Yeah.
But you've seen him? Is he an NFL talent? Can you see
Oh,
him sticking in that
absolutely.
league?
Yeah, Zach's a great guy, and I think something that differentiates him from any other mule that had NFL talent is his mindset.
Mm-hmm.
His mindset is so focused and so locked in on achieving his goals and dreams that I think the sky's the limit for him because he's so versatile and so willing to, give himself up for the greater good of the team. And he's always been that type of guy since, I came in with him my freshman year. There's a funny story I want to tell you about Zach. So during our freshman lifts, we had a partner that we had to carry a 45-pound plate a mile. It was called the Green Mile, and I was running with my partner Kobe, and we were in first place the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were coming down the last stretch, and I'm running with the 45-pound plate, and we're running, and then all of a sudden I look to my right, and I see Zach Davidson just toting the 45-pound plate, just knees up to his chest, like just running
Like
right
it's
past
nothing.
me. Yeah. And their team ended up winning that, but I remember and knew that he was going to be great from that moment on. That he was special. So shout out to Zach.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely had a great Mules career. Looking forward to seeing him play on Sundays now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going back to Mules football, do you know much about this latest recruiting class that we just announced in February?
I don't.
Not
Yeah,
yet?
I'm
Okay.
not familiar with them, but I'm sure we will once they get on campus and stuff like that. But I'm excited. I heard there was some good talent in there, so not very familiar with it, but I'm excited to see what they'll bring to the table.
Yeah, unlike last year where they went pretty hard on those skill position guys, I think this one really focused on the offensive and defensive line. So hopefully they get you some
Yeah,
protection.
for sure.
Before the pandemic, Mules football they were really gaining some good momentum. We had a bowl game win, a playoff win, and now next time we play a meaningful game is going to be 2 years later. How do you kind of keep up that positive attitude and keep that momentum going?
I think just staying with our core values. So some of our core values is fate. So it's family, accountability, toughness, and execution. So as long as we keep those, goals and those values spread across the locker room, on and off the court, or on and off the field, I think that the sky's the limit for the Mules in 2021 because, like I said before, we have the talent. Even though talent left, I mean it's college, so there's always going to be guys.
Talent leaving.
Yeah, there's always going to be guys leaving, new guys coming up. So we got a lot of hungry guys, offensively and defensively, that are ready for their opportunity. So yeah, I mean we're going to be definitely ready for this upcoming fall.
Yeah, I know. I am. Can't wait to see the Mules back out on the field. Turning our attention a little bit to you, kind of personally, you said this is going to be your last year. Do you have future plans for once you're finished with UCM?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few options or plans in my head. So right now I'm doing an internship with OTG Sport Management. It stands for On the Go Sport Management, and so it's an NFL agency.
Okay.
And so, working with an agency has really taught me just like the research and stuff that you need to work with like college recruiting and to try and build them up to the next level and all that potential. So I think it'd be cool to go into the agency life, but long term, I would love to be like an operations manager for a professional team.
Okay.
Or like a sponsorship activation for a professional team. But I mean, I know that's probably a little long term, but I just want to just be in some type of management role. I've been talking to Amazon, and so they asked me to be like an area manager for them.
Okay.
And so that's always an option. But, I mean, right now, I feel very confident that I can play football at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just putting all of my effort and focus on this upcoming season because I feel like if I, am able to perform well, and get my guys the ball, that there might
That
be
there's more football in
opportunities.
your
Yeah.
future. That's
So
awesome. That's the dream.
right.
But it sounds like you're setting up yourself well for whether you're playing, beyond 2021 or not. And do you want to stay in sports once your playing days are over?
Yeah,
Is that the big
definitely
hope?
want to stay in sports, whether if I'm playing it or coaching it or trying to get guys to become professionals. I think just being around sports is something that I'm passionate about, and so I think that's definitely the goal at
Right.
the end.
I've seen you at the multi recently at some Mules and Jenny's basketball games.
Yeah.
Are you kind of just a fan of all sports, or?
Yeah, definitely a basketball fan.
Mhm.
I'm also doing it just to, get some more experience just in a sport like facility and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And so I think just gaining as much experience as I can throughout my college years is just adding to, my resume and stuff like that. So
Are there any other Mules or Jenny's games you like going to aside from
um
basketball? I don't know if you've worked any. I really haven't had
yeah,
many
so
just yet.
this is my first year working. But yeah, I usually go to the basketball games. I've been to a few baseball games. But yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. You have some other hobbies that are outside of sports.
Yeah, so I play Madden. I like to hang out with friends. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of a simple guy, especially
Sure.
right now. School is kind of taking up a lot of that just because I'm in master courses, so their kind of workload is, a little bit more heavy. But yeah, just focusing on football right now and, playing games when I can and just been hanging out. So,
Well, that's awesome, man. Kyle, I've enjoyed talking with you. We're running out of time here. I'll give you the last word if you got anything else you want to add.
yeah, shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother, all my cousins. Shout out to my grandma and my grandpa and my other grandma. Shout out to my great aunt. I love you. I know things are tough with you right now, but you'll always be with me, and I love you. Love all you guys.
All right. For Kyle Bradley, our producer engineer, Evan Holmes, this has been the Roll Stable Podcast. Catch us next time on UCMathletics.com, our YouTube page, youtube.com/UCMathletics, our mobile app, and all of our social media pages. Take care.